Hello there.
Hi, Catherine O'Toole.
Hi, how are you?
See, I wear this all the time. I am faithful.
Good, yay. Well,
We have to. It's rules at Alpine Veterinary Hospital.
yes, yes.
Oh,
And,
we
and
have
I'll just let
three
you know,
people who are in the process of being tested, and
yes,
I'm just holding my breath that they're negative. They both have, two of them have colds, and one has got a bit of a fever. So
okay. Well, and just so I was trying to tell you we're live right now, so I want to share.
okay, all right,
Okay, great, thanks.
all right.
I think we're waiting for a few more people that should be starting here soon.
Okay.
We got Angie on the phone. Christina's up. It sounds like I think Dr. Martell's on the phone, so she'll be joining us.
Good evening, all.
Hello.
Hello.
Good evening.
Just to let everybody know, we are live. So we are streaming to YouTube at this moment.
Dr. Martell will join us in just a minute.
Bye.
Thanks.
All right, bye.
Hello, everybody.
Good evening, Jim.
Good evening. Good to see you all.
Seeing you.
It's good seeing every single one of you. You all look so good.
Yeah, right, Angie.
No, honey, when you're in a house all the time, let me tell you, you guys look good even on screen.
It's always good to have it's good to have that perspective, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Four walls, blank walls. Yeah, you need some bodies, here, there, and everywhere. So it's good to see all of you. Glad you made it tonight.
Right. Glad to see you too.
Doing great.
Good. Looks like we have a quorum.
Yes, we do.
Okay, then I will make a motion to call to order the October 14th, 2020 Finance Committee meeting.
So moved.
I will second that.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
We are called to order. I need an approval of the agenda. May I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I would move
So-
that.
Thank
Second.
you. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Agenda is approved. Okay, we will move right into financial statements. A resolution of expenditures been deferred. Statement of fund balance also deferred. Financial review deferred. And our balance sheet deferred. We'll move into the bank reconciliations. Everyone has that for their information. I will assume everyone's had a chance to look at that. Does anyone have any questions or concerns? Or Jim, do you have any comments on that?
We just swept some to our the county's main account. So it's just a month's collections there on the general and no activity on the couple. And so then we have, 750,000 in the ePay account for
I
the
saw that.
investment. Yeah. So that is an interest-bearing account, but it doesn't bear a lot of interest nowadays. It's
No interest due. My guess is,
yeah. So
What are we getting? About 8%?
oh no.
You jest.
How about two?
if you can find
Wait.
one, I'll be happy.
0.2 maybe. I mean, all the money markets are they're practically zilch.
I know. I was just being whimsical. Sorry.
Okay.
Love it.
Okay, we will move on to the revenue and expenditure reports, which are also deferred. So we'll move to page 14. It shows our emergency reserve graph. I'll let everyone get to that.
And we had the county posted some real estate tax collections of about 840,000, which really bolstered our cash. So our reserve minimum is 9.5 million. So that's really a big increase this month.
Yeah, I've got to say that's as good as I've ever seen it in the years I have been here. Does anyone have any questions or concerns about that?
Nope.
Okay, we will move into major expenditure requests. The first one is for the electronic filing fee for death certificates. That is to Vital Records, and it is in the amount of $7,444. Do I have a motion to approve?
So move.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and approval. Do we have any discussion? I do. I have a question. I see that, yes, of course, this is budgeted. We go through this every month. But with this, it puts us for fiscal year 2020, almost $2,100 in the red. Is this because we've had that many more projected deaths, and can this be attributed to COVID?
I can't answer what it's attributed to, but it's for the certificates and then copies that are issued. And so we had a budget of about $84,000, and we, over the 12 months, then this last month we exceeded it by the 2,100. So.
Okay. Jim, I'm having a hard time hearing you. Is your volume on low? Okay, now you're on mute.
Okay. All right. Can you hear me now?
Nope.
Yeah, you're very quiet.
More
Is
up.
everyone else getting that or just me?
No, he's quiet.
I can hear him pretty well, John.
Okay.
All right. Well, it is because we have, we pay for each death and then copies of death certificates. So if we're going through more funeral homes where they request a number of copies, that could be attributed to why we went over budget.
Okay.
But as far as, the cause of death, I really couldn't speak to that.
Okay. I was just curious.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I know we do the projections on what's going to be requested, and we can predict pretty close how many people will die within the population. And to be a big chunk over, that's about 500 more requests. I was just curious. Okay. We have a motion and a second. We will take a vote. All in favor of approving the expense, signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? So passed. We will move into the vaccine request, which is in the amount of $4,445.40. Do we have a motion to approve?
So
Move it.
moved.
Second.
Okay. And this again is for vaccines for clients not eligible for the
Vaccines for children, VFC, or the adult 317.
17. Okay, thank you. Any questions or discussion? If not, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? So passed. Our next expenditure request is for a Viken lead paint analyzer in the amount of $16,380. This was not a budgeted item. Okay. So do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any questions? And I do. So is this an item that we had and has failed, so we needed to replace, or is this something new and there's this new standard of what we're doing to analyze paint in houses or remodels and such?
Well, they refer to it as an XFR lead paint analyzer, and it's for the HUD program. So I think, to increase capacity that they've, they had part of their program in their grant to go ahead and get this unit. So
Upgrade too, Jim. It's an upgrade to get faster results. And the grant, this is totally funded through the grant. So they allow it as an expenditure. So it's a lighter, faster machine.
Fantastic. Excellent. Thank you. Any other questions? If none, all in favor of approving the lead paint analyzer expense, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So passed.
Just as a follow-up to this purchase as well, it went through the purchasing agent and through government purchasing for it.
Thank you. Next expense is CDP, annual renewal of environmental health software systems from October 1st of this year through September 30th of next year in the amount of $32,012. Do I have a motion to approve?
So move.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any questions?
That wasn't on the, I know it's listed on the agenda, was not listed on the proposed expenditures.
yeah,
So that's where I wasn't sure of the amount.
yeah, it's missing in the chart. So
So that was for 32,000.
$12.
$12, and that's been consistent the last 2 years.
Okay. I guess my question would be, because I wasn't sure if this was something we renew each year, is there a reason why it was not budgeted then?
No, it should be budgeted and it's included in the IT line, isn't it, Jim? I think you got,
Yes.
It's down as not budgeted. So we may want to
Okay.
it's an
change
annual
that.
recurring expense that we do include in the IT line items for software renewals.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we have a motion and a second. If no further questions, everyone in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? So passed.
So that the two items that weren't on the major expense requests on the agenda will be added to the proposed expenditures for the board meeting, I assume. I'm seeing Christina nod her head, so,
Yes.
okay.
Well, added, so it makes it easy on the table as well then when we go through the items. And we'll make sure that the budget notations are correct as well.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Our next expense is through Winnebago County Soil and Water Conservation District for soil boring tests in the amount of $3,000. This was budgeted and we do not need an amendment required. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll move.
Second,
Thank you. If we have a motion and a second, do we have any questions? If none, all in favor of the expenditure in the amount of $3,000 signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? So passed. Our final expense is expense for AmeriCorps employee to work on COVID-19. Do I have a motion in the amount of $5,000? Do I have a
I'll
motion?
move
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Okay, now this was taken via email, a vote, and it did pass by an 8-1 vote. So I guess this is more information only. I guess we didn't need to go. But I do have a question or two concerning this.
Okay, that was 5,000, right?
Yes.
Okay.
First, how long is this for? What length of? Oh, 10 months. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I guess I'm looking at an expense for an AmeriCorps employee to work on COVID-19. But then justification for expenses is violence reduction. It's one of our initiatives. How do these two work in tandem?
So what page are you looking at?
I'm on page 36 of 51.
This is the match that we have to provide on a AmeriCorps. And we've done this before. And this is where what we are asking is that this individual will be working in the Joint Information Center. So we specifically recruited and wrote a grant application for the AmeriCorps member to support the Joint Information Center, the COVID-19 hotline. So we are matching it as a required is the 5,000.
Okay.
Just point of information, when we do an electronic Board of Health approval, we don't need to approve it once again.
No.
We get to
No.
the full board, correct?
Correct. It's just for informational purposes at that point.
Okay,
To
just
go
wanted
into the public record.
okay.
No, I guess my question was just if it's COVID-19 and violence reduction, where's the correlation, or is it through?
I provided the wrong documentation.
Okay, Christina says she provided the wrong information. Oh, you know what? They copied and pasted, which is the failure on the system there. It is, again, that was, it is not violence reduction. It is part of the COVID response. We will make that correction. And again, the idea being that this individual, you have to apply, and our last AmeriCorps volunteer was with our violence reduction through the, if you remember, they did the trauma informed.
Well, that I remember, and I was just trying to figure out, what we were doing and how we were doing it. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
I'll keep a better eye on this.
Okay, if there are no further major expenditure requests, we will move into proposed contracts and agreements, which is page 45.
And that was just, again, point of information, the pro forma Winnebago County Corrections, when it's board approval, that again does not need to have full board approval
Correct.
when we go to the full board.
Right, it's just read in for the record, and that was for annual flu vaccination. This year, we've just, really think that that's going to be key because of the number of individuals that'll be coming out of the system to provide that vaccine. And so we have an opportunity through some of our additional funds this year related to COVID and influenza prevention to use some of that monies for that.
So will both the AmeriCorps and the pro forma be listed in the proposed expenditure chart when we go to the board?
It will, but I think what we'll do is we'll put previously approved by electronic vote. So we'll make that notation. We'll keep a separate column. That way everyone can see that.
I'll make a
Okay.
point of bringing it up that it's been passed, so people know.
Correct.
Good, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. In the proposed contracts and agreements, we have one from for HPW through the City of Rockford Police Department. It's our fiscal year 21 tobacco enforcement program, or a TEP grant, in the amount of $9,972.48. This was budgeted. Do I have a motion to approve?
So move.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions concerning this?
It's a budgeted item?
Yes.
Yes.
Is this not where the police target areas send in children to see if they can purchase alcohol or tobacco?
Correct.
Okay,
And it says budgeted is item budget. It's almost the entire grant, actually. That's almost a pass through that we have to contract with local police departments for this. And then no budget amendment is required because it's already budgeted.
right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. If no further questions, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? So passed. Do we have need for an executive session?
No.
No. Are there any additions?
I'm just going to bring this up for this committee because it has a fiscal impact, but it will be brought to the full board for consideration, really, in any actionable items. So this is just an information sharing. The county board did approve, as part of the state mandate, that election day, November 3rd, governmental offices will be closed, and it will be considered a holiday. I have asked Charlotte to review. We currently are in obviously active COVID response. And so we are looking at either, and our policy allows us, if someone works a holiday, put it as time and a half under our current existent policy, and kind of either doing it through resolution to mandate either working on the COVID response that day or serving as an election judge with appropriate training. The idea being that we know that that's part of the concern. That's why they're wanting to close governmental entities so that we can support the election process. So Charlotte will be drafting something, and there is a fiscal impact, obviously, that we have not budgeted for at any point in time. Even if we allow people the time off, it's an unbudgeted, time back kind of thing. But it is something that we have to be compliant with both the state statute as it was, or the state, I'm going to say, I'm not sure if it's state statute or state emergency order on this one, and then following through. And I know that the county board just approved theirs, so we are, that will be on the agenda for the full board consideration.
Is it possible at the full board, we could have a breakdown of what that day is going to cost us?
And Jim will put that together. And again, we have funds that we will probably be able to use. Again, if it's for COVID response, we'll be able to put it under, and we're going to have to do some query with the state as if they're going to serve as an election judge to pay them for their hours, whether that would be allowable under the COVID.
That was my next question.
Yeah.
If we would have to pay them also through okay, great. I have a question because I think I brought this up last time and I never followed through, but has the health department made a decision on Halloween?
Yes. And so this is also information sharing. In terms of Halloween, we have posted Halloween guidance up on our website. And we've also kind of done some modification, I'm going to say some clarification to both the state guidance and our local guidance. So there are, each village is having some trick or treating, but the guidelines are up and posted, whether or not, again, whether you can do safely. You're supposed to leave it at your curbside, as we would say, a table out there, so the little children can pick it up from your table outside the home. Or, again, kind of trick or treating in households. And the typical things, most villages, if you close, obviously, if you're not going to participate, you turn off your lights. And we have several communities that are going to do what I call either a trunk or treat event, which small social gathering, 25 I'm going to say per timed event to go through, and then trunk or treat, again, with safe practices in place. And probably the most interesting one I've been talking up lately is it looks like Winnebago High School System is planning something for that Saturday where the high schoolers are going to develop something I'm going to call a Rube Goldberg kind of mousetrap where the candies go down chutes for the kids, and the littler kids will go through and get their candies through the little chutes as kind of a way to make it a little fun for the community. And again, socially distanced, households only, as each group goes through with an opportunity for, I asked them if they could live tape it so that some of our more senior members of the POT community that can't participate due to vulnerability could see the little kids in the costumes and, and some of the fun things that the kids are putting together for them. But it's not a typical Halloween where it's all over. And of course, we're very concerned as we're in, mitigation, and doesn't look good for us to get out in the next couple of weeks, given we have a lot to fight out at. But certainly we're concerned about food establishments and social gatherings. So there is some guidance that has been posted out there as well through IDPH for holidays and Halloweens.
Thank you.
So more to come.
You've been doing a great job, Sandra.
Yeah.
I've got a great team
You're
behind
welcome.
me.
The entire staff has.
Exactly. It's
You
a heavy for everyone. As Todd and I said, we never knew so much about, we did not know how haunted houses work. Haunted houses are not in Illinois allowed, Bo. And again, that's really under the DCOE guidance. We didn't realize there was so much screaming and touching, apparently. that
Oh, there's not supposed to be any touching, I thought.
Right.
Yeah. Well, apparently that's kind of how they get, you touch all kinds of things in the plate.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
okay.
Brains and spaghetti and, all that good stuff. So this year is probably not the best year to be, so that haunted houses are not, but hay rides and some of you can do a haunted hay ride, but again, look at the guidance and trying to figure out how we can allow people to have a little bit of fun, and certainly for our children in the community, to kind of give them some social interaction that's appropriate, that, it's just not going to be like it's always been. So I always say, I can't wait to see what that high school puts together in the tubes and the chutes, and they're doing a competition between the different class grades. So that should be interesting.
Yeah, I'm very intrigued.
So am I.
Well, thank you. Is there any other business, or does anyone have any questions? If not, I will request a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor of adjourning, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? We are adjourned.
And I want to
Have a safe
Um,
evening.
I want to make sure the record shows it